Welcome back to History Uncovered. Today, we're diving deep into the Middle Ages. When we think about medieval times, most people imagine knights in shining armor, castles, or epic battles. But hidden behind that romantic image, there's a much darker reality: the punishments. And let me tell you, some of them were so bizarre, they feel like something straight out of a movie script. Let's explore the strangest medieval punishments you won't believe actually existed. First on our list, the brank, also known as the scold's bridle. This was a metal mask shaped like a cage, placed on the head of women accused of gossiping or speaking out too much. The mask often had spikes on the inside, pressing against the tongue or cheeks. It didn't kill you, but it silenced you in the most humiliating way possible. Imagine walking through your town, mocked by everyone, unable to speak a word, just for gossiping. Next, the infamous trial by ordeal. If someone was accused of a crime, they weren't judged by evidence. Instead, they had to prove their innocence through pain. For example, they might have to plunge their hand into boiling water and see if it healed miraculously. Or walk across burning coals, and if they survived, they were innocent. In other words, if God saved you, you were free. If not, well, let's just say the odds weren't in your favor. Now here's one that sounds straight out of a horror film: the rat torture. Yes, rats were weaponized in medieval punishment. The victim would be tied down, a cage of rats placed on their stomach, and then heat applied to the cage. With nowhere else to go, the rats would dig into the person's body to escape. It's hard to believe people actually did this, but historical records confirm it. Another strange one was the pillory and stocks. This one might look funny in old movies, but it was brutal in real life. People were locked in a wooden frame in the middle of town, unable to move. Villagers could throw rotten food, stones, or worse, sometimes for days. It wasn't just punishment, it was public humiliation. And sometimes, it even turned deadly. Then there's the dunking stool. Used mostly against women accused of witchcraft or being disorderly, the victim was tied to a chair and dunked repeatedly into a river or lake. The logic was twisted. If you drowned, you were innocent. If you survived, you were guilty. Either way, there was no winning. And finally, one of the most humiliating of all: shaming parades. Criminals were sometimes forced to walk through the streets wearing ridiculous costumes, carrying heavy objects, or even stripped nearly naked. The punishment wasn't death. It was being turned into the laughingstock of your entire town. For many in medieval society, that was worse than any physical pain. So there you have it. Punishments so bizarre and cruel, they sound like something out of a medieval horror movie. From spiked masks to deadly rats, the Middle Ages were far from the romantic era we see in fairy tales. Which punishment shocked you the most? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more shocking history uncovered every week.